Hey everybody, it's Kristin O'Brien, the president of Center County Association of Realtors, and we are here highlighting our business partners for our series this month. And so we'll start off. Kevin, why don't you introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about who you are?
Sure. How you doing, Kristin? My name is Kevin Lantzy, and I'm with M&T Bank on the mortgage department. And I've been with M&T for, well, I'm in my 20th year already. And yep, so it's been exciting. It's been a crazy ride, but I really enjoy working for M&T. I've been here the whole time doing strictly mortgages. So it's been a fun time, doing.
How'd you get into mortgages? Like, what made you decide to do that?
Well, that's a good question, because prior to this, I was a store manager for Wolf's Furniture and Heilig Myers Furniture here locally. I had moved to Center County in 1991. And here, when Heilig Myers was going out of business, I met Cindy Campbell, who, if you remember her, she was with M&T at the time. Yeah. And she's now retired. And I met her, and she found out that the company was going out of business, and she kind of found out a little bit about my background, what we did, because we did have all of our own in-house financing there. So, with that plus sales orientation, she asked around about me, and she asked like 2 or 3 other people that were in banking. They all knew me. And so it was like all of a sudden, I'm being interviewed,
and after all of that, she still wanted to hire you? No.
Yes, yes.
Kidding.
No, you're right. But yeah, so, I always say I thank my lucky stars that I met Cindy that one evening, and we talked. And that's the big thing with this business and with a lot of businesses is connections. People like to do business with people they know and trust, and and I think that that's very important.
I agree 100%, because I mean, this is not a inexpensive thing that people are doing, buying a house and getting a mortgage. So
that's very true.
You definitely want to know the person giving you advice is, a friend and, qualified for sure.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's, because when I meet with people, whether it's to do, a possible new purchase, or they're a first-time home buyer, or even whenever they are in a little bit of trouble and they need to do some debt consolidation, the main thing is to sit and listen and maybe dive in a little bit deeper to make sure that you completely understand, what their goals are. So many times people will just call and say, oh, I heard rates dropped. I want to, refinance and get a lower rate. Well, then all of a sudden you realize they have a lot of other debt, or their goal is to maybe have the house paid off in, 16, 17 years when they turn 65. And they think that they may only be able to do a 30-year fixed mortgage or a 20-year fixed. So, we can do any number of years, whether it's 17, 18, 21. So, it's very important to listen and to find out what your clients and customers are looking for.
Agree. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to ask you. Well, let's jump gears over to the company you work for. So, like, obviously you work at M&T Bank. So tell me a little bit about the company, the different services that you provide. Go a little bit into that side of it.
Sure. M&T Bank is a full service bank. We're a regional bank, which is based out of Buffalo and also Baltimore. And we're ever growing. But like locally, we've got, excellent investment advisors. We've got Wilmington Trust. And as I mentioned, a full service bank. So it's a situation when, if someone comes to me to do a mortgage, we service all the loans that we originate. So it stays with M&T. And, for people that have had mortgages and, they may do their mortgage and then all of a sudden it's sold to XYZ mortgage company, and then it might be sold again. What we find important is that relationship. So what we do is we service those loans, and then in hopes of being able to, build more trust with them and be able to help them out on the investment side, retirement side, and then just even their normal checking, savings, or business loans. And M&T has been in Center County since the year, in the whole state of Pennsylvania since the year 2000. Yeah. M&T. I'm sorry?
I said I thought maybe it was older, but I mean, I guess that is old.
Right. Well, in Pennsylvania, but M&T's been around, I think, I'm not positive, but I think about 140 years, I believe, that would be right. Because they originated out of Buffalo. They were one of the, first banks in that area. But yeah, it's a great place to work. A lot of mortgage originators kind of move around a little bit. Some do stay put where they're at. I've been very fortunate to be able to have stayed with M&T the whole time that I've been doing mortgages. And as I mentioned, it's now into 20 years.
Me too. So
I know. That's true. Yeah, you've been in the business for the same amount of time. That's right. Yeah, that's great.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think, do you think being a regional bank, like what's the differences between being like a regional bank or like, like a Wells Fargo or something like that? Like, are there any advantages to being more of a regional bank and keeping house loans in-house is important to a lot of people. What would you say the other differences are?
I would say the other differences, compared to a Wells Fargo or a Chase, is that you actually have a branches to be able to walk into, to be able to meet with other other parts of the bank, whether it's opening, checking, saving, as I mentioned, like car loans or business loans. So it's not a situation where, yes, you have your mortgage with a major, even though we will become about the 12th largest bank in the United States, we're still very regional, basically in the Northeast. But I still feel that personal connection of being able to walk in and know people, that if they have a question about their mortgage or their tax bills came and they want to make sure that the taxes have been paid, they can come directly back to me, which is nice because the loan is with M&T. I think that's one of the major things, because especially on the mortgage side, many times people will do their mortgage through either XYZ Bank or maybe a broker, and then it's immediately sold. So, and that's great. If you're not too concerned about, who's going to end up with your loan. Yeah.
I'll say I have a lot of clients that, they'll talk to you and a couple other lenders, and they love that part of it. So, and it is, after you move in that first year, you're always getting all kinds of stuff. You don't know if it's true, if it's a scam. It's like, oh, is the taxes, do I have the taxes paid? So it is so nice. And I know it's important to a lot of my clients that they can just be like, hey, Kevin.
Yeah, exactly. No, I
instead
agree.
Of being put through, a million other 800 numbers and try to find a real person. So.
Right. Yes. And that's today's world. That's kind of difficult.
Yeah. Well, you are working from home right now, so you're still not there. I'm trying to come back to the office.
Yeah. We should be back very soon. And, I do meet with customers, but, it's amazing of how well everyone adapted, through COVID. And, so that's worked out well. I do different Zoom meetings. I also, a lot of phone conversations. So, but I still meet with customers, and now I'll be meeting with them even more and more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was interesting. Like, I was all in when it went virtual. I was like, yes, like I've been doing this already. Like, I love it. Like, I was already doing Zoom calls. It was hard to get people to do sometimes. So for me, it was like, yay! Like, I get to like use some of the skills that I wanted to do. So
Right.
I think our
Yeah.
industry as a whole really did adapt well. So
Yes.
all right. So how about so what do you think the general public needs to know? Like what do you have to do to be successful in today's market? So any tips or tricks about your industry? What do you think people should know?
Well, I would have to say, again, for the industry itself, of being able to be trusted, and you know making sure that, I guess I kind of will go off a little bit on this, more of like, since people are coming to me for one of their most major purchases, it's a situation of making sure that the person that you're talking to truly understands what's available, for that person, and then give them options. Many times people will just, well, here's our 30-year, fixed, and not giving them any options. We have, naturally a normal 30-year fixed mortgage. We also have a biweekly, which that rate is slightly lower than a 30-year fixed. And the biweekly, what's nice is that it's already programmed to be paid off a little bit sooner. With rates as low as they are, it may only be about 25 years that it will be paid off, but it's programmed to be paid off sooner, for your, for your customer and your client. And but we also have an array of different products. We have USDA, FHA, VA. I've done quite a few VA recently. Currently, the ARMs, which are the adjustable rate mortgages, where it's fixed maybe for 5 years or 7. With this rate environment, it's almost not even, there's no reason to look into those programs. When rates were around 7 and somebody was moving, let's say, to Center County, they were only going to be here for 5 or 6 years, because they were, moving here for one reason or another. Then yeah, an adjustable rate made sense. You got a lower rate and you were able to have that fixed through, let's say, 7 years, and then your plan was to move. So, but at this point of time, rates are so low, it's almost, it's rates are so low that it's almost where you want to have a mortgage, because, it's, and keep your money and maybe invest. But again, I'm not an investment planner or anything like that. I'm still always a believer of pay down that mortgage, and hey, whenever you have it paid off, it's a nice feeling.
Yeah. No, I'm of the same mindset, but the rates do make it, I definitely, for investing, I definitely feel like there's some investors that have come out with the low rates and they're like, well, heck, I might as well borrow at, 2%.
Right.
For 15 or whatever, just to free up some money for some extra cash flow on the investment side. So yeah, I never thought I would see 2-3% interest rates.
No, and they've lasted, a long period of time. As another area where I've seen an increase has been like second homes. Especially in this area, we have a lot of alumni that would likes to buy maybe a condo or a small house to be able to come back for games and for Arts Fest and different things like that. So, the second home is an area where people have been diving into more, because of rates being so low.
Agree. So is there anything that you personally, like, what makes you stand out? Is there anything you want to toot your own horn, or I could toot your horn, but I won't.
Right.
Is there anything that makes you different that you want people to know about? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. As I mentioned, it's a situation of, getting to know, the either the person on the other end of the phone, or, meeting them in person, of building that trust, and that's the biggest thing that I look at, is that, they're going to make their largest purchase, their biggest investment other than their retirement, in their life. And, I just feel that you want to make sure that you're exploring all options, and that I'm able to give to customers. I'm able to, discuss the different type of programs, and discuss that we have the Center County program, for first-time home buyers. In other counties, we have grants, that are available. Clinton County has a small first-time home buyer program. So it's making sure that what's out there to be able to pass on to your clients. And that I believe I can actually give to everybody, because of the length of time I've been in mortgages. And the other thing too is knowing what the underwriters are looking for, and understanding that, hey, if, I see something come across my desk and I know that that's not going to be something that we want to dive into, because, maybe, it's kind of like part-time work. People feel that, that they're going to be able to count that income. Well, if you don't have 2 years of experience or 2 years of employment with that part-time work, unfortunately, we cannot count that income. So it's just really understanding the products and understanding the customer. And I believe I have both of those ability to be able to do that.
I agree. And I will say, I feel like in today's market, experience really does, I think, go a long way, because we've been through so many different markets and shifts, and, we had the 2008 crash. So I feel like anybody that's lived through that is going to arm their clients with way more information and be able to make better decisions. So
yes,
got my vote.
Yep, I agree. Yep, I agree.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep you up anymore. Is there anything else you want to share before we kind of sign off?
I think that's it. I mean, I also have, my own, website. You can actually go online and apply online, which is great. A lot of my customers are starting to do that. They'll actually fill out the application. They can actually pull credit, and they can actually get a pre-approval letter issued. But what I always like to do is follow up, as soon as that's done, follow up and make sure all the information that they inputted is correct, so that you as a realtor receives a quality pre-approval letter.
Awesome. And we'll share your information whenever we post this on social media, but okay. Is email, cell phone, what's the easiest way to get a hold of you? Do you have a preference?
Yeah, I mean, cell phone and email are great. My cell phone, my clients are pretty much accessible to me by any means: text, cell phone, email, work number, which is transferred to my cell anyway. So yeah, I mean, any way, or, you could even go to the M&T Bank website and search by loan officer and be able to find me that way also.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for chatting with me.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. Had a great time.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to see how you're taking CCAR to a new level.
Well, thank you. I'm trying. And hopefully just get more exposure for all our business partners, and, share the wealth. Mm-hmm. So
yep, absolutely. All right, great. Hey, all right. Good to see you.
Yeah, back at you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.